I wish Meri well. I really do hope.
Yeah.
Like, I want all the good things for her because I feel like she's been through the ringer.
She can get in a loving relationship. I know that she, like, just.
You know what? It might be a game changer for her if she really saw someone who actually could treat her like, I don't know.
Nice.
I don't know. Like, it's so weird. I don't. Bless her heart. She's very loyal. She hung out, stuck it out because that was her belief or whatever.
Well, it's the whole religion thing too. I mean, same as you.
Yeah. I don't know how. I still don't know. I still don't know.
Divorce.
2025. It is not often that the sister wives actually agree on something. In fact, it is very rare for them to agree on anything. But this time, 3 of the sister wives were on the same page regarding Robyn's rules. And I guess in the world of sister wives, if 3 of them agree, that practically makes it a fact. So, the fact is, Robyn Brown either lied, is lying, or is definitely being misleading when it comes to her rules, her beliefs about hierarchy, and what she thinks it takes to leave a marriage with Cody, because Cody, Robyn, and Cody, yes, Cody again, are still caught up in the idea of what counts as being out of a marriage. In the latest episode, Cody even admitted he doesn't even know if he is still married to Janelle or Christine. He said, well, Christine moved on and married somebody else, but she never did a spiritual release. And then there's Janelle. She hasn't done a spiritual release either. So, in his mind, he has no idea what that means for their marriage. So what is going to happen? Well, Cody said he'll just figure it out and leave it up to God. Remember when Cody still wanted to count Christine as his wife? Yeah. When he was supposedly yelling at the prophet of the AUB? Right. So therefore, under some weird reasoning, he still thinks that these are his women. When Christine left, Robyn made the weirdest claim. She said that for Christine's marriage to Cody to be technically voided, she had to sleep with another man. According to Robyn, then it would break their marriage and the spiritual seal would then dissolve. At that time, Christine thought it was the stupidest thing. She even said, who am I supposed to go to? A church authority. They have no power over me. And she refused to do it. More recently, Janelle, Christine, and even Meri, though she wasn't physically there, she was part of the discussion, talked about this whole idea. Do you really have to sleep with another man before you're considered released from the marriage? Janelle, of course still holding on to some of these ancient rules, had a humorous take on it. By this time, Janelle and Christine were on their way to North Carolina. She wasn't even certain if she is married to Cody anymore. She wasn't sure about that. That's when the story was told. And trust me, it's pretty wild. There are definitely some strange rules in the AUB, but a lot of them actually come from Doctrine and Covenants 132. This section, written by Joseph Smith, lays out the concept of celestial marriage. It's the doctrine that introduced polygamy into the LDS Church. In this writing, Joseph Smith outlined a bunch of bizarre rules. Essentially, a man can cheat, but it's not considered adultery. Why? Because according to this doctrine, they don't recognize legal marriage laws. The belief is that the laws of God take priority over the laws of the land. So since they only follow what they see as God's law, legal marriages hold no real value in their eyes. Because of this, they have to convince women to buy into the system. Now, under these rules, a man can only commit adultery if he sleeps with a woman he isn't married to and hasn't been sealed to. Similarly, if he touches any kind of physical woman before marriage, it is fornication. He might release all the other wives from the spiritual bond by doing this. So let's get to Christine. She will be asking Suki at the upcoming tell-all. Ask Cody if he slept with Robyn before they were married. Everyone saw Cody and Robyn's engagement photos, and let's be real, they looked a lot cozier than a couple that was supposedly only allowed to hold hands. If anyone broke their vows first, it was definitely Cody, long before any of the women ever did anything. The rules themselves? Completely ridiculous. Women are absolutely forbidden from sleeping with anyone else. And if a woman does have sex outside the marriage, she's not only broken her covenant and her seal, but according to their beliefs, she's also doomed to hell. So it's not just that sleeping with another man breaks the seal, it's that it condemns you. But of course, they don't really explain that part on the show. Christine, on the other hand, takes a much simpler approach. Just go have sex, and boom, your marriage is over. Done. It's a dumb rule anyway. And if you really look at all the rules in this church, rules that Joseph Smith himself created, most of them contradict each other anyway. Now, when it comes to Robyn's argument about needing to sleep with another man to break the seal, not everyone is on board. Christine thinks it's ridiculous and believes there's no need to go through the church for a release. As for Janelle, while she doesn't necessarily agree with Christine that sleeping with someone is the solution, she also doesn't seem to agree with Robyn either. Janelle doesn't seem to fully agree with Robyn's belief that sleeping with someone else is the way to get spiritually divorced. In fact, she seems to think the whole idea is just absurd, and all of them are kind of mocking it at this point. But one thing I did hear Janelle say, that if they didn't believe in this system, they'd just be a bunch of baby mamas. At least, in her mind, they were a family. Except, were they really? Let's be honest. Back when they were living in Lehigh for that short time from 2006 to 2010, they seemed like a family. The three wives were under one roof, and for a brief period, it looked like it worked. But Janelle? She actually left Cody after giving birth to Gabriel. By that point, she'd already had 5 kids, and she decided to walk away. She moved to a different city, became a single mom, went back to school, and lived on her own. By 2002 or 2003, she had bought a house and was doing just fine without him. She wasn't living with Cody, Christine, or Meri. She was gone for 5 years. Then, in 2006, somehow, Cody reeled her back in. He was going bankrupt, he needed money, and he convinced her that if they bought a house in Utah, everything would magically work out. And she went back to him. On the show, they act like her time away was just a short break. But let's be real. If you can leave a man, get a college degree, and buy a house, that's not just a little separation. That's a long time apart. And during those years, Maddie Brown even said on a podcast that, at just 6 years old, she was helping her mom change diapers and take care of her siblings, because Janelle was working and in school. Maddie later said that experience shaped her as a parent. She would never do that to her own child. Because, let's be honest, it's not a 6-year-old's responsibility to be nurturing babies and helping mom raise kids. So, in reality, Cody did have baby mamas, but Janelle, despite everything, is still somewhat indoctrinated. She still sees the family through rose-colored glasses, trying to believe in what it once was. And when you look at their actual history, everything they left out of the show, it's kind of wild. But one thing they all agree on, Robyn's rule is stupid. Now, here's the thing. Robyn's rule isn't even the actual rule. And Meri? She explains it perfectly and accurately, which proves Robyn was lying. According to the Doctrine and Covenants, if a woman has sex outside of marriage while still in a committed union, then the contract and seal are nullified. That's it. So, Robyn? She twisted that rule, pushed it onto Christine, Janelle, and Meri as a way to control them. It was never about religion. It was about power. It was about keeping them tied to Cody, keeping access to their money, keeping them involved, whether they wanted to be or not. And that's the real story. Robyn isn't just a victim of a cult. She's calculated, methodical, vindictive, and cruel. Because no one with eyes can deny what she did to this family. She drained them financially. She manipulated her way to the top. She used sex. She stroked Cody's ego, and she gave him whatever he wanted, until she was the only wife that mattered. And once she secured that position, she became the shot caller, the one pulling the strings. She wasn't just a participant. She was the orchestrator. She was like Ghislaine Maxwell to Jeffrey Epstein, the one making things happen, the one benefiting from it all. If Robyn had her way, she'd probably bring in new women, but still stay in charge. Because Robyn never came into this for love. She came in for power, for control, for money. And Cody? Once he realized she would play the game just as well as he did, he thought, this is it. He finally found his Bonnie to his Clyde. Someone like Janelle or Christine questioned where the money was going. Robyn had the ultimate trump card. She was the legal wife. That meant she had direct access to the bank accounts, while the other wives had to ask or fight for their share. And Robyn took full advantage of that. One of the biggest fights when the women started leaving had nothing to do with love or family. It was all about the money. Because Robyn had started dipping into the family business account, treating it like her personal bank account. Why? Because in her mind, Cody's assets were her assets. And while Cody was busy making Janelle and Meri sign away their rights to properties like Coyote Pass, Robyn had already secured her financial future. She wasn't just another wife. She was the only wife that mattered, and she made sure everyone knew it. Or did you just take it, knowing she had no real way to stop you? Janelle, Christine, and Meri all had a front-row view of all this, but every time they raised the money, Robyn's tried-and-true move was to threaten divorce to Cody. And she made it good. She'd already driven her ex-husband broke. She'd made him lose his kids. She had made sure Cody adopted them so that her ex had zero leverage. Cody watched her do it and still couldn't see what was coming for him. Robyn wasn't just after security. She was after control. And now, even as the family falls apart, she's still playing the victim, pretending like everything was fair. But was it? Janelle paid for Robyn's house while living in an RV. Christine walked away with almost nothing. Meri was cut off and isolated. And Robyn? She got the legal marriage, the money, and the control. In any other reality show, this would be a scandal. The production would call her out. Articles would be written about how she manipulated the finances. But somehow, she gets a free pass. Why? Because she played the long game. And she played it well. Relationship after leaving it, that says everything about how damaging it was. Christine has been open about her trauma. She doesn't pretend everything was fine. She admits that Flagstaff, her marriage, and the entire situation left her with emotional scars. And yet, here's Robyn, still trying to control them. The whole, you can't sleep with someone else or you're still sealed rule? It's nonsense. It's just another way for Robyn to hold on to power, to keep pretending she's the head wife. But let's be real. Robyn isn't trying to get them back because she loves them. She's not trying to keep them sealed out of some deep religious conviction. It's about money. Janelle's financial independence is a threat to her. Meri leaving is a threat to her. Every woman who walks away takes away another piece of the security Robyn built for herself, and they know it. Janelle isn't sitting around wondering if she can leave. She's just figuring out how. And the moment she does, the financial house of cards Robyn built comes crashing down. Christine already escaped. Meri is done. And Robyn, undefined. She's left trying to hold on to a fantasy where she still has control. But the truth? She never really did. It's as if the entire situation is unraveling into finally revealing itself to be true. Robyn's manipulation, Cody's tendencies, and financial control that kept everyone stuck in this mess. Christine acknowledging her trauma is huge And it's telling that even Maddie felt comfortable to publicly call out Janelle and Cody's marriage abuse. Janelle might not fully accept it yet, but she's clearly getting there. And for all the ex-wives to be on the same page about Robyn lying, undefined. That says everything. What's wild is how long the show, and even the public, gave Robyn a pass. Undefined. But now, it seems like people are finally seeing what's really been happening all along. It'll be interesting to see if Janelle takes that final step and gets her release. If she does, Robyn's grip on this whole situation crumbles even more. What do you think will happen next?